Hi, it's Eugene from Jinjer and you're watching Chaoszine.
Okay, so hello everyone. Chaoszine is today here at Copenhagen Festival in Denmark, and we have Eugene from Jinjer as guest.
Great,
You
guys.
just played an amazing show.
Thank you very much, did my best, and I think everyone did our best on stage.
How has it been to be up on the road again after all these fucked up times, so to say?
Well, it has its pros and cons. On the one hand, being on stage for this 45, 50 or 1 hour is the perfect therapy for me, and it is the only time I can forget about the war. Just playing music and, connecting with the crowd. Because all the other time, my mood really goes up and down constantly. It swings back and forward, and I may feel absolutely okay at one point, but after a few minutes I'm absolutely depressed. Like, depressed in the way that I can barely act. Yeah, and being able to play is definitely a cure.
So you had to cancel some shows, and now you just like announced before the summer that you will be sort of like representing Ukraine and spreading the word about the war. So what kind of process it was for you to sort of get the permission to get out from the country and go out and play again?
Well, let's start with the cancelled show first of all. Thing is that we were right about the US tour with Slipknot. And I'm sorry, but we need to do something about that.
Oh, okay.
Let's. Could you please close it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So back to the point. We were just before the tour with Slipknot in the US, and of course we couldn't get out. It was the first weeks of war, which were the most horrific times of my entire life. And even if we were out of Ukraine by the time war started, we wouldn't be able to play. Because those first weeks, so many deaths, so much grief, so much horror, we wouldn't be able to play definitely.
So how close the war actually hit the place where you live? Was it like all surrounding you, or?
I met the war exactly when it started. On the 24th at 5 o'clock in the morning, I was just driving and things around me started exploding. I got straight up under the shelling, under the attack, and I thought this is the end. Like, I was trying to get out of there, driving 180 kilometers in a very narrow road. Yeah, just it was still dark, and I saw things I before that only saw in movies, like a huge explosion with all these pieces flying around, and then they were falling right in front of me, and I was just driving around them, and all this smoke around. It was like real horror, but you are a part of it.
Yeah, it's something that nobody cannot imagine if you aren't like going it through.
Exactly. And I was on the way back to Kiev, and I was just trying to get home as soon as possible. And I saw all these traffic jams. People were trying to get out of the city, and all the destruction because of the first attack, here and there. And then the first week was the most horrible time because nobody knew what is happening. I got home, one of the first things which I did. I contacted everyone in the band. We made a post on social media. And everyone stayed home. Every half an hour there was a siren, just missile attack alert. We went to the basement. I went to the basement alone because I was staying alone. I took my family out. Yeah. So I was alone, just sitting watching news and going crazy. Then every second hour, half an hour, I go to basement, then go up, basement up, spend half of the night in the basement, and these huge explosions all around. Thing is that it wasn't really close the first night, like 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers away from me. This is not close for us. In our reality, this is not close. But how massive those explosions were, the land was shaking. Yeah, and the real horror started to happen in Gostomel, in the suburb of Kiev. And this is basically when the siege of Kiev started. Yeah, and the next very day, I just felt like, making a sort of a stating our position and claiming our position. I made that video, which is on YouTube. I wasn't able to realize things like that could happen.
I guess you got quite a lot of comments on your on your personal.
Yeah, I was bombarded with texts of all my friends. We were just checking how things are with everyone. I got a bunch of texts from fans from all around the world. Yeah, but somehow we made through this. I remember the third night, if I'm not mistaken, and there was how we call this, the aircraft, remotely controlled.
Okay.
Yeah, so and it was shot down just a couple of kilometers away from the house I was in, and it was so loud. I almost fell off the bed. I stayed at home for that night, and then this explosion. It was early morning. I almost fell off the bed. Yeah, it was very close to Roman's house, actually, like even closer than to mine.
I've seen quite a lot of footage of the war, obviously, and there's obviously quite a lot of houses destroyed. So,
exactly.
How is it with your own houses? Are they still there, or have they all been destroyed? Or
no. Fortunately, our houses where we live, they're all okay. We just were lucky to be on the safest part of the city.
Okay.
Yeah, but people who live in Gostomel, Irpin, and Bucha, there was a real hell on earth. There was a real hell on earth.
So obviously, in Finland, everybody goes to army, and if there's a war, we will all have to be involved with the war. So, how was it like with you? Have you been involved also with the gun activities, or have you just been in a shelter, maybe taking care of people, or what has been like your role in the...
this time? Yeah, actually, I never did any military service. I never shot a rifle, and have no experience of that.
You're a karate kid, so you have some other ways of fighting if you want.
My grappling skills are of no use at modern war.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Believe me, if I could take a fight and stop this, I would. Yeah, bare fist fight. But unfortunately, things are not that noble anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the stupid politicians, absolutely bloody bastards, sent thousands of people to die and kill, which is, I thought, impossible in the 21st century, but the reality proved I was wrong.
So have you lost quite a lot of relatives in the war, or have you been sort of lucky that you haven't lost any close ones, for example your parents? Or
I am lucky not to lose anyone from my family, but I have acquaintances, especially friends of my friends who are gone already.
Okay.
And it's just, it doesn't matter whether I know people or don't know people.
Every death is too much.
It's too much to take. Yeah, I remember the end of March, and I was absolutely destroyed by this mentally. I couldn't bear anymore the horror happening around me, and the just losses and losses and losses. The thing is that Roman's parents
Yep.
were in Mariupol,
Okay.
and they stayed in basements for a couple of weeks. We didn't have a connection with them for a couple of weeks. We didn't know whether they're alive or not.
That's horrible. That's very horrible.
I can only imagine how bad he felt.
Yeah.
It is impossible to describe with words. I was confused. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to ask him about the situation every moment I was talking to him, but at the same time I didn't know whether I should remind him of that or not. And we were so happy to know that they managed to get out of there. Yeah, like after a couple of weeks, at the beginning of April, if I'm not mistaken. And also I had a friend there, Sasha, and his family. They were living there for a couple of years, and they did the same. They spent weeks in the basement. They were collecting rain water. And he has kids. It is honestly, that very weeks I was trying to imagine how I would feel if my kids would be in the basement. I would probably go insane.
No, I was already insane to see you like in the middle of the war with your family, since we both have like quite similar age kids, and I would imagine myself in the same situation, like being a dad and being sort of hopeless, and you don't really know what will happen next, even though you try to be brave and try to help as much as you could, but you still don't know the result, what will happen.
I wasn't even brave. It is impossible to stay brave in this situation. I sent them out. They were already out of the country, but I wasn't with them. And
Yeah.
if my ex-wife and elder son, he's a 8 years old kid, it's easier to deal with him, and my ex-wife has a boyfriend, so they were more or less okay. But my wife and the younger kid, he's only 2 years old, and she was absolutely alone to take care of him.
Yeah.
And I appreciate a lot all of my friends who helped her on the way. They are in Israel all this time.
I was very happy to see you reuniting with your family.
Yeah, I only saw my elder son. I haven't seen my younger son yet. Just didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't connect with them. Yeah, it's the gap between the shows was too short.
But you will meet them after these shows, of course.
Of course. As soon as I have a chance, I will.
So obviously, I'm wearing this shirt that you did because of the funding, and you gained quite a lot of money through that. So how have you been spending the money? You also sent some images out that where you have putting it, but do you still have some money left and you're still doing the voluntary work?
Of course, yeah, and we will never stop it until the war is on. Until the war is on, we will be helping people.
Will there be like more shirt designs and such?
I think we will stick to this design because it's like a symbol now. So many people bought it, and we made in the first weeks 130,000 euros.
Yeah, that's amazing achievement. It sort of shows how the metal community is helping you as much as they can.
And it's not only metal community. I must admit that there were just my fellas I made on the way, on the road. For example, a gym, BJJ gym in Graz. I just went there once for a training, and then I saw the guys bought this T-shirt, and it really astonished me. And I am really grateful to everyone who supported Ukraine through this donation program, because unlike
still help if you just have the chance.
Yeah, exactly. Unlike any big foundations, we have a chance to give people directly.
Yep.
And among the most, the cases I remember very well. We just a couple of days ago donated in favor of a children's music school in the city of Borodyanka.
Okay.
It's near Kiev, and it was absolutely destroyed, completely destroyed, the whole city, and the music school was destroyed too. And they were trying to collect money to buy new gear. and we just bought the whole set of gear for them, everything, instruments, PA, a mixing console, everything they needed. And this is one of our goals. Because
how do you do the decisions that where you are helping? Because obviously everybody knows that there's quite a lot to help.
It's easy. There are so many people in need that you don't really need to look for.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows each other, and through friends and acquaintances, you just know that somebody there needs help. Like the woman from Mariupol Drama Theater, and after the attack there, you know that so many people were hiding in the basement, and it was shot directly.
Yeah.
And the woman was severely injured. Somehow they managed to take her out of Mariupol and took her to Zaporozhye, and she needed desperately money for the surgery. Like, nothing is priceless, nothing is free, and they had to pay quite a lot of money for Ukraine for that surgery. We just sent her money straight away because, well, it's either now or she wouldn't make it. And and many other examples when we just paid for people's treatment or our help to the front, because unfortunately not everybody is fully equipped in the army, and we really wanted to help the guys, to provide them with essential things like bulletproof vests or first aid kits and just uniform. It's basically, once we contacted by a person we know, not necessarily a friend but just a fellow, and they say there are people there who really need help and they cannot find it anywhere else. Why not? We should help them, if we have a chance. And so far we've managed to cover only 55,000 euros, so we still have a lot of money, and little by little keep coming, the money keeps coming, so we will be helping each and everyone we find.
So as you are now here on the road, what kind of process was it for you, and at what point did you make the decision that if we could get out, we will go out and play and share the awareness of what's happening in your home country?
It was May. Russian troops already withdrew from Kiev, so things in Kiev kind of stabilized, and we got almost the same day 2 emails. First of all, it was our booker who was about to cancel all our summer festivals, and secondly, it was Atlas Weekend festival from Kiev. And Atlas Weekend was offering us to join the charity program and charity festivals to raise funds and awareness, and we told them that we already have so many festivals booked, so nobody will book us in Europe because we are everywhere. It's exclusivity. It is not being done this way. We explained everything to them, and they told us that actually there is a program organized by Ministry of Culture that artists may go out, and we provided the Ministry of Culture with all the papers to prove that we play here and here and here and how big crowd's gonna be, and they let us out. We didn't really count on this, honestly. We knew that it is very nobody knows how it's gonna be, and all of a sudden, just a few days before we were supposed to go out, we just got the permission and went out. And I have to say that it is very hard to be on the road and play shows when such things happen in my country.
I can imagine, totally.
At the same time, I see all this support and I understand how much we motivate people even to help more. And
did you know that there is a Ukraine funding happening near the main gate today also?
I heard about that. The guys told me, So obviously, we are doing the right thing here. And we are of much greater use here than we would be just at home, sitting and waiting to be drafted to the army, even though, like, for example, me, I never had any experience, so I'm not in the first ones to be drafted, and honestly, I'm not a volunteer because I have 2 kids, I have a family, and I'm first of all thinking about them. I never thought I am a coward, but in this situation I'm not definitely the bravest one compared to those guys who just went to the army straight away, and those are real heroes. Those are real heroes.
So how does the future look now? Will you return to your home after the tour, or do you stay somewhere safe in Europe, or do you even know it yourself at the moment?
It is very early to speak about that. We still have so many shows ahead. Let us play it first. Yeah, let us play it first. Yeah, the most important thing is that we managed to, raise more and more money in order to help Ukraine, and obviously by doing these interviews, spread the awareness, because I keep saying,
also playing the shows, that helps quite a lot of people to see what's happening, opening eyes.
Tatiana is saying everything right from the stage.
Yep.
Right, you heard it today.
Yep,
yes.
I heard it.
Straight, yeah. And I think this is a very powerful tool. Which
now you are using it in the way it's supposed to be used, to do something good.
Exactly. Yeah.
This was quite in-depth interview and quite sad interview, but obviously very important thing to do. Anything you want to say as last words to all the fans out there?
I keep saying this almost every interview. Guys worldwide, thank you very much for being on our side, helping Ukraine, not even Jinjer, just Ukraine. I know a lot of you went to the border of Ukraine and worked as volunteers. I know a lot of you just donated a lot. Like a friend of mine from Belgium, he had a huge collection of Slipknot memorabilia. He sold it all in favor of Ukraine. And these are thousands of euros.
Very nice way to do.
And I am really grateful to all of you for this. I am not encouraging you to do this forever. I know that each of you has a family, and obviously you will need to get back to your normal life. But what I'm asking everyone is that please do not turn your back on what is going on in Ukraine. Do not forget about this. Because I made the same. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Before this war, I of course wasn't, indifferent to tragedies happening in the world. But my first reaction was like, I'm shocked. I share my opinion about that on social media, and then I forget about this. This is how things are done in the modern world, and this is what I will never do again. I will never turn my back on people who suffer. And this is what I'm asking you. Just do not forget, keep the awareness, keep following the news, because otherwise we're all fucked up. Not only us Ukrainians, but just the whole world.
Yeah. Thank you a lot for the interview, and I'm more than happy to have you guys back on the road and playing shows again. It was pleasure to meet you again.
Thank you very much for the interview, for your time, and just happy to see you, Arto.
Stay safe.
Okay.